welcome, and it is a warm welcome as well, if a little breezy today, to the stadio here, the arena down in the Algarve. No more is the Rally of Portugal situated to and from Lisbon in the north. It moves south, and it's been a thrilling 3 days of action. It all started right here at this stadium in this fantastic facility, side-by-side racing as a super special, and we've got more live for you right now. The tail, if you like, from this top and tail of what has been a tremendous Rally of Portugal, which I'm sure you've been keeping up to touch with the highlights each evening. There'll be more of today's action and, of course, the overview of the rally. But this right now is what it's all about. The grand finale, temperature around about 15 Celsius in the afternoon here to be. Well, first out today, on course, out of points positions, but certainly in with the honours. Matthew Wilson in the Ford, Stobbart Ford, nearest, or on the right of your screen now, up against Gareth McHale. It's Ireland against Britain's mainland then. Oh, and already Matthew Wilson has just got into the barriers. Well, he's not had the best of runs of late, and certainly not here. Matthew will have been hoping for better than 12th place. It looks like that's where he's going to be finishing this one. Gareth McHale just behind him in 13th. They are separated by over a minute and a half, so no matter what Matthew manages to do or get wrong here, it's not likely to affect his final positions. Well, it's been a real battle royal up front between Gronholm and Loeb. They've been swapping victories in terms of stage wins. Irvinen has not been out of it either, and breathing down their necks, thank goodness, has been Peder Solberg. But look at this, it's thrilling stuff, and the crowds have turned out yet again to see this on what is a busy footballing afternoon as well in Portugal. Jumps in the middle of the section, got to watch the front end, and on no service in the intervening time, and that's caught out a few, not least Henning Solberg, who has had his problems out there. First split for you. First real split, I should say. Well, if only the clocks would stop for you at that. There you go, 1:06.7. That's good by McHale. Very good indeed. It's up there with the fastest split times. I think it's just about equal to Peder Solberg's when he went round here at the start of this rally. Peder still to come out here in a solid 4th position, a minute down on Irvinen, who lies 3rd. Matthew Wilson still with a lot to do to get back at this. His error earlier on costing him. They crossed that line 4 times, don't forget, but it's the even crossing of the line that counts. Second time around, they've both completed the same distance, and then of course when they cross it for the 4th time, it gets you your finish time. Well, McHale and Wilson, well known to each other, spend time together as you'd expect. Matthew getting his first points in Mexico, and Gareth McHale, who always a great feature of the production class, and hoping to move up. We're hoping to see him in full WRC status, and if he carries on like this, why not indeed? First benchmark for you then, 2:10.4. 2:10.4 for McHale. And Matthew will want to forget about that, but their positions won't change in the rankings. Matthew Wilson, solid 12th place. Gareth McHale just behind him in 13th, although closing the gap, as you've just seen, by around about 10 seconds. So there we have it. Fantastic arena, this, built for European Championships football, of course, down in Faro. Tremendously lovely. Next up, Andreas Mikkelsen. He's in the Ford RS WRC from 2004. Mikkelsen's had a great run here in a car that's effectively 3 years old. He's in 11th position, and he's up against the Zara of Manfred Stoll, who's had his difficulties. Had an off on day 2, lost himself 5 minutes there, and there's the sort of more aged-looking car from 2004. Got a whiff of Colin McRae about it, who, of course, victorious here. Both he and the late Richard Burns had victories in the Rally of Portugal before the hiatus. So did Tommy Mackinnon. And as you can see, damage already, and that's why the back end of Matthew Wilson's car was looking slightly upset, let's put it that way. So Mikkelsen in the 2004 version of the Ford Focus RS WRC, up against Manfred Stoll in the Citroën Zara. And they're all shouting heave here while they put the concrete barriers back together after Matthew Wilson just got into it. Let's have a look at this. I wonder if it was him or whether it was one of the water braces that actually flew off and did the damage. Let's have a look. Yes, indeed. It was the water-filled plastic that shot off and hit the barrier beyond. Yes, you're live on Eurosport 2. Give us a wave. Well, we told plenty of you on the opener, it's not far to Faro. Get yourself a cheap flight down to watch the best of it. You've left it too late now if you're watching it on Eurosport 2 at home. Safety of prime concern to these boys. That thing weighs, well, I was going to say weighs a ton, but that could have misled you. But it is certainly heavy, and they're not going to be allowed to start until the race director either gives them clearance or if they can get it together. And they've decided it's in a safe enough place. It is actually not part of the course. It was one of the water-filled plastic barriers that shot off and caused that damage. So who's your favourite here? Fascinated to see how Andreas Mikkelsen, who is Norwegian, on board with him, Ola Floen, and they have had a tremendous run here. You've got to say, you look behind them and see some quality out there, not least Matthew Wilson in the overall standings, and he sits just behind Manfred Stoll in the rankings, which is why they're paired together, and away they go. Well, a quicker start by Stoll as you'd expect. A lovely drift shot there. You can see it right from the top. You see where Stoll disappears. He'll be back into the stadium any moment now, and back he comes with a vengeance. Tremendous arena, this. They ought to copy this for some of the other super specials, because they've done a terrific job, the Portuguese. And Mikkelsen has been enjoying himself out there. Huge flight from Stoll, almost bins the front end, from Mikkelsen, I beg your pardon, really bins the front end. You've got to watch that, because if you fly off, you will nose in. Didn't seem to stop Petter Solberg giving it a full bootful earlier on. There is the Zara WRC, handed over with grateful thanks by Sebastian Loeb, who's now in the C4, of course. Oh, nose down. Made it count. And Mikkelsen has been providing the thrills out there in the countryside. And he's doing more of the same here. Stoll leading Mikkelsen by just 0.8 of a second. It's a slow split for the pair of them, around 2 seconds off what would be a real stage-winning pace. Nonetheless, they're giving it plenty here. Mikkelsen fighting to find grip, but gets enough of it. Next jump. And saluting the crowd mid-air, arm outside. Can't imagine for one moment he would have been adjusting the wing mirrors here. They're pretty much fixed and locked into place. You see just how close they're getting and how skillful these guys are to keep it off the barriers. Can you imagine setting a curve like that? Tremendous drift, and just, well, it gives a note of the accuracy that they keep out on course right here in front of the fans. Almost 20,000 of them have turned up here, and they're experiencing this spectacle. 2:10.4 is what they're aiming for. They're not going to get there, but it's going to be good nonetheless. Oh, Stoll the showman, waving to the crowd as he crosses the line. Good effort by Mikkelsen. They'll hold position there. Stoll in 10th place, Mikkelsen in 11th. Tremendous drive for the man in the 04 car. And the crowd just love it, as you can hear. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more live action in a moment. Stay with us. Benaccini. Now, Shishi Gali set the benchmark time in the first Super Special running out there. It really was a good one to be chased down, of course, and I expect he may well take the lead here, albeit momentarily. We will wait and see. Live boards up and out, and a handy start by Gali. 6th place in Norway for Gali, and running with the Portuguese flag. Always good. Likes Portugal, loves it here, and bought himself a Portuguese national football shirt, which he's been prancing around in. Sorry, strutting. Strolling, let's leave it at that. Save our argument. Nice jump, nice, tidily done by Gali. In the privately sponsored Citroën Zara WRC. And a measure of the wisdom of that investment in Gali. In the points, he's going to finish here, running in 8th place. Not going to catch Carlson, Henry Carlson in 7th spot, who's what, 1 minute and 25 ahead of him in the ranking. But he's going to give it his best shot. Beautiful picture of them both drifting together here. Cross for the first split. 1:07. They've got work to do. Well, the chill of the night just starting to tell. It's got hazy here. There is a light breeze blowing. And you can bet if it was a question of a tenth of a second, he wouldn't be wearing a flag on top. It's a little bit wider than that, though, out there. Well, sixth place in Norway for Gigi Galli. He's not going to get quite that high, but he's being noticed, you have to say, and he's going to be point scoring yet again right here. There's the crossover. Oh, Galli just getting it a little bit wide. I thought for a moment he'd kissed the barrier. He avoided it. And here's your time coming right up. Final curve for them. Galli's got the wider route home. 2:11.3 for Carlsen. Well, it's always something of a spectacle, these super specials. Far more importance, perhaps, at the beginning of the rally, because it kind of set the starting times and at least gave people a 2 or 3 second advantage going into the very first stage proper. And that's perhaps why Gronholm and Loeb really did go for it. And look at that. Portuguese national colours. Ever the showman. I think you may well see a lot more of him. He's made lots of friends here in Portugal. And they're loving him back. Terrific. Well, next up we've got Jan Kopecky and Henning Solberg. And this will be interesting because Henning has had clutch trouble coming into this one. He's managed to get to service. I'm hoping he gets away cleanly, because in Mexico he stalled it on the line. And I think it may well have been a similar problem. Great drama, lovely action here. That's why the crowds are getting thrilled by these super specials, which are starting to top and tail each of the rally events. And close up, real life, you'll love it. If you do get a chance, make sure you get along and enjoy. So benchmark time so far. Gareth McHale, who went out there and got the better of quite a few vehicles. 2:10.4. Matthew Wilson finishing in 2:17.9. Not his best, but if you're on your timing screens, you may be wondering why McHale isn't there. It's WRC boys that are featuring for now. So here we go. Jan Kopecky in the Skoda Fabia WRC up against the Stobbart Ford, despite its livery, of Henning Solberg in the orange car. Brother of Petter, of course. As you can see, he's barely had time for a clean out there, and I just wonder and hope that he does okay. Rolled in Mexico, of course, and was leading his brother in the world rankings. Not now. Had a bit of a quiet weekend by his own standards, Henning, and he didn't get the best of starts. I just wonder whether he's lost a gear there. We'll wait and see. Probably ask him, and you'll find out certainly in tonight's highlights program, which you'll be able to see on Eurosport. So much live action going on at the moment, and this is just part of your enjoyment. And thank heaven for Eurosport 2, where we can back up the coverage on British and international Eurosport services and bring you the action as it happens. Live here, as it is, at the Algarve Stadium, just outside of Faro in the beautiful Portuguese Algarve. Well, Henning seems to be going okay now. I want that tape trailing underneath. It may well be a bit of gaffer tape. After they've had a quick look underneath. He is an engineer, Henning Solberg. knows his way around a vehicle, and clearly knows how wide his vehicle is as well. I'm so impressed by these guys because it is a very, very narrow course. In some places it appears that it's only 2 car lengths wide, and really that's not much to play with, particularly on a bend. Landing the or spot landing the takeoffs, so important here as well. And that aerial view, absolutely tremendous. Just kissing the barrier there momentarily, Kopecky. Lovely sound of these engines echoing around this arena. May well have been built for football entertainment, but it's thrilling as here. Kopecky 22nd in the overall standings for this, so not exactly a challenger for Al Henning, just dropping down into 9th place after challenging for 6th, losing a couple of spots day by day, dropping down further today with his clutch problems on that penultimate stage, if you count this as the final one. 2:13.1 for Henning. Well, they gave it plenty, but it's their end to the Rally of Portugal, at least for now. They were tied together though, weren't they? After a sluggish start, Henning getting back into this one and nicking it right at the line. Well, next up we got Jari-Matti Latvala and Danny Sordo for you. Sordo still adjusting to his C4, he says. That was close, wasn't it, across the line? Henning getting the slingshot off the corner, just driving it home. Well, the rises and falls of this Super Special, mirroring what has been something of a challenge out there. You can see the dust being kicked up, bright orange. It's almost like the earth is burnt in this part of the world with the sunshine over the millennia. And it's taken its toll, as you can see. Jari-Matti Latvala looking a little bit ragged against Danny Sordo in the C4. Well, Latvala had a good run of form, scoring in, of course, Norway and in Mexico. And he'll be in the points this time around as well. 3 are looking in the bag for him, although he trails Sordo by just 25.4 seconds. And amongst, oh, well, there you go. And amongst the leaders, it's a doable gap. Perhaps you might think if somebody had that kind of problem, unfortunately for Latvala, it's happened to him and not the other way around. Well, Sordo, supposedly the man who's been struggling with his vehicle. Latvala, in front of 20,000, has just let it go. Well, the C4, a monster unit, and Citroën, well, desperate to get victory here and close the gap, which is at 15 points in the manufacturers behind, manufacturers championship behind Ford. They trail at the moment. That was an unusual crossover. Wasn't expecting to see that. It's just because of the delay. Latvala chasing himself, effectively chasing his own tail now. There's no way he's going to close the gap on Sordo overall. He trailed him by 25.4 seconds coming into this final Super Special stage here. Sordo's going to get 5th place, and Latvala will have to be content with 6th out of the top 5. He'd have liked to have been up there, Jari, but it's not going to happen for him this time for Ford. But it's been a good run, good outing, certainly. And well, the support for rallying by the Stobbart organisation, Eddie Stobbart's trucking group, it's been tremendous. And thankfully, they pay for our entertainment effectively. So our thanks to them. Well, I'm sure Jari-Matti Latvala would have preferred a tidier run, certainly here. Sordo in the comfort zone. Can't possibly close on Petter Solberg in 4th place. Trails him by 2 minutes 3 seconds in the overall standings as we come into this final super special. He'll cross the line. 2:10 dead. It's a new benchmark for us. And poor old Latvala with the ignominy of having to continue in the dust here. Crosses the line 14 seconds adrift of Sordo. If that error had happened the other way around, it would have been closer, but certainly wouldn't have closed that 25 gap. Tightest of all, in fact, is in the junior division. It's Anderson and Ava, separated by 2.7 seconds only. Positions 15 and 16. We'll find out how they get on by the end of this one. So, lack of fortune for Jari-Matti Latvala. If you're going to have a minor stop, last place you want to do it is in a stadium in front of 20,000. That's where it happened to him. Never mind. Next up, we got Petter Solberg in his newly improved, revamped and running a lot better, he says, fast and easy Subaru Impreza. He and Mikko Urvanen will be having a go at each other. They're separated by just 0.6 shy of the 1 minute mark, so a minute between them effectively. Petter Solberg, that is, in 4th place, with Urvanen in that solid podium position, and hardly surprising. He's been brilliant out there, having taken 2 stage wins, Special 14 and the Tavira stage as well. Do like Tavira. Get the ferry out, see the sardines in the harbour. Big black clouds of them, amazing. Dolphins occasionally. That's the end of the promo. I'll be expecting a sangria later on. So, time to get going then. Mikko Urvanen and Petter Solberg. And Petter, did he get the jump? Or was it just that Urvanen was taking it easy? Last thing Urvanen wants to do is make a mess of the vehicle. He's got some photographs with this a little bit later on, because he's going to be on the podium. All he has to do is effectively drive it round. He's got enough time to open a bag of crisps, probably. Petter, well, he's not going to be... oh, and as you can see, he really isn't stressing the metal too much at all. That jump previously in the opening Super Special was taken at super high speed, and these two are not here to do any damage to the vehicles whatsoever, and hence the rather sedate pace. Well, Petter will be pleased that he's got the better of Chris Atkinson. Chris is going out on day 2 effectively, and it was a heavy off that he had. Lack of fortune perhaps for Subaru. So the car's getting an awful lot better. In Mexico they were delighted. Ill fortune struck Petter Solberg there, and we were tipping him as an outside bet for victory here, but he's finished just nearly 3 minutes down on Sebastian Loeb's pace, and Sebastian Loeb is leading the rankings ahead of Marcus Gronholm as we come to this Super Special by 33.4 seconds, and they will be out next, and you can expect Marcus to be absolutely thrashing it around this course. And, slightly confused as to why Petter is taking it so easily. Normally he's a bit of a showboater out there. I can only imagine that the car is suffering a little bit, and he just wants to make sure that it's nursed around here. We'll find out exactly what the damage is. There are a few loose bits. The car is looking reasonably ragged. Certainly they haven't been to service, they haven't been cleaned, and so they're just limping their way round here. Urvanen, well, he's had another good run in 3rd place. Then again, he raced a production car in Portugal in 2005, and he finished 2nd. So, as you would expect, he would know his way around. But 2:15.7, he's not going to set anyone's boat alight. If you happen to be a Norwegian, or a Finn, indeed. Viking context, so you'll understand it if you're into that sort of thing. So Urvanen coming across the line, 2:17, nice and slow. Petter Solberg, he's saying hello to the crowds. They're getting their pictures. Delighted to see Hollywood in action, albeit rather muted. They really weren't pushing it too hard at all, were they? Over the jumps. And why should they? All the work for this rally now complete. So Sebastian Loeb it is, who, if he keeps it clean round here, will get 10 points for victory here and close the gap in the overall rankings. And well, that's a pleasure for us all when that sort of things happen. Positions will stay the same if Grönholm holds on to second place here. Marcus and Sebastian have been swapping race wins, or should I say stage wins, throughout all the legs of this rally. And Marcus, well, he always likes to push hard, but I can't imagine he's going to be doing too much of that here. You get the measure of it when you see the jumps. But Sebastian, ever the competitor, look at this. He's out there and he means business. Grönholm won the opener at the Super Special. Yeah, it's nice and gentle. Thought it might be. Lovely sound, and, well, as with the best boxers, they have the sort of cleanest faces quite often, because they're the ones inflicting the damage. And look at these cars. Nice and tidy coming into this final Super Special. As well they should be, because they've had to keep it clean right the way through the rally in order to pick up the split times and indeed carry them over to victory. 1 and 2, you're looking at them, and they've been in that position, have they not, for such a long time now. It's always these two that you have to beat to get anywhere. And the first split, 1:04.2, and Loeb is motoring here. Well, he may not be getting too much air on the jump, but he knows as well as we do that the quicker you get the tyres down, the quicker you actually get the power on. So if you pre-jump it effectively, like a downhill skier, you can actually off. Oh, he's showboating now, though. Bringing it home. Sebastian Loeb, fantastic competitor. Could well have been, well, indeed, he could have chosen a career path as a gymnast, and hence his celebrations of the backflip. I don't think he's done it since he damaged his shoulder in a mountain biking accident. I think they've asked him not to, just keep feet on terra firma whenever he does win a rally. He's heading for victory here. Grönholm knows it as well. It's going to be a good time as well. Loeb crosses the line. 2:06.8 for Sebastian Loeb. Grönholm losing out by another 3.7 seconds. And so it'll be around about 36-37 seconds that Grönholm finishes behind Sebastian Loeb after the completion of this, the Rally of Portugal. Back on the WRC calendar after a gap of some 6 years. 2001, the last outing. Marcus, in fact, raced way back then for Toyota, you may remember, a couple of years previous to that. So he, one of the few who's had experience on Portuguese roads, albeit different terrain, because of course it's come down from the north down to the Algarve. So it's going to be victory for Sebastian Loeb here. 10 points for him. It puts him on 38 points in the championship, and Marcus Grönholm stays out front, but now the lead cut down from 4 points to just 2. Grönholm with these 8 points on 40. Sebastian Loeb with maximum points in Portugal goes to 38, and Irvinen is now on 32. Well, the fun isn't over. We've got the production class boys who are out for you. Patrick Florin and Vitor Pascoal of Portugal. Pascoal in his Subaru Impreza WRX. There he is. Actually, this is not. I do apologise. We've got Rui Madeira, I think it is, and Nuno Rodriguez in their Mitsubishi Lancer. So a little bit of an error for you, and I do apologise for that. I'm blaming. Yes, Rui Madeira, confirmation of that. and Flodin in the Subaru Impreza. They have, in fact, changed the running order here. So, to my surprise, Vitor Pascual is not here. I wonder if he'll be out next. We will wait and see. So, the Mitsubishi, always a great choice amongst clubbers, as well as still active, of course, in production class and elsewhere. Mitsubishi sold so many of these vehicles on the back of the great exploits of Tommi Mäkinen, and he really was a thriller throughout the years in the red. And a kindly bunch Mitsubishi were when they had full WRC status. They used to entertain the journalists by providing sandwiches, coffee and a table. And as a result, you never really got a bad write-up about Mitsubishi, because otherwise you lost out on your biscuits next time round. Bit of inside information for you there. We, of course, at Eurosport remained completely impartial and can't be bribed by biscuits or anything else. All I can tell you, Tommi Mäkinen got a fantastic motorhome on the infield of the service park. Lovely guy as well. So Flodin against Madeira, Subaru against Mitsubishi. It's almost like the battles of old, seeing some of the more aged vehicles out there and in contention, although front end of this one, of Flodin's vehicle, reasonably contemporary. A lot slower time for the production class and the juniors, although Gareth McHale out there early on, and Armando, or Matthew Wilson I should say, was up against him. Kind of a class apart, although they do both race in the WRC. Gareth really did motor around here, set our opening benchmark time, and it was a while before he got beaten, but Sebastian Loeb out there, 2:06.8. Really showing his class. 2:15 flat for Flodin. Not bad at all. Well, plenty of Mitsubishi hats clearly have been handed out here, unless there's another sponsor who's in bright red, probably Citroen. I think we just found out it happens to be a phone company. There you go. Well, they're preparing the podium for the winners, and I wonder whether we'll get some interviews as well. Both Sebastian and Marcus, always very kindly when it comes to allowing the press to have a word. I imagine they've got some contractual obligations here as well. Don't forget, you'll be able to find out the rally highlights later on this evening. As with any rally, if you do tune in to Eurosport.com, click on Motorsports on the website, and you'll find that the rallies are covered live. So if you happen to be at the office and you want to keep in touch with exactly what's going on, Jamie O'Leary and his colleagues will keep you up to date throughout each and every rally. It's the same with the distance events like the Dakar as well. It's a tremendous service and well worth a look. So Eurosport.com, then find the motorsports and go to Rallye or WRC, whatever you fancy. And you can get the rally live information as it happens and keep in touch with exactly what's going on. So the signatures going out. Joaquim Duarte is on course. And indeed, so are the photographers. So a quiet moment, a little hiatus for us, perhaps, as we wait for the podium to be arranged, champagne to be sprayed. We'll hang on for that, I hope. And well, the mobile promos continue, it seems. Everyone talking about what's going on course. We love WRC. See you in 2008. We'll definitely be back. Thanks, everybody. Good on you guys. So, next one for you. Peugeot versus Subaru. Bruno Michalis, I think it is, in the Peugeot 207. It is indeed. It's Pascual in his Subaru. Bruno Michalis and Paolo Grave all Portuguese affair. Well, they've chosen a Peugeot 2007 S2000 here. And in fact, they must have changed recently. Oh no, my mistake. Just checking through the notes. So, Morales, nice little showboating jump. And I have to say, these old Peugeots, I say old as well, do forgive me if there's anyone listening from the press office. Old kind of design, if you like. It's been a shape that we're quite used to. And this compact shape, don't mean anything negative by it at all, has always proved to be absolutely competitive. Great balance to the machine, and you can see it here, despite the fact that he's already nudged out a couple of the water barriers. I didn't say that as it happened. It just seems a more muscular vehicle, the Peugeot, and surely it can't be long before we see Peugeot stepping up once again and taking a full chunk out of Citroen's dominance, as it has been, although Ford well and truly leading, not only in the manufacturers, but well, in the manufacturers I should say. Citroen, of course, with Sebastian Loeb chasing down Gronholm in the drivers, so not quite the gap that Ford might like, or the cushion, but they still do lead both drivers and manufacturers championship races for now. A lot of investment from Ford, thank goodness. Yes, Peugeot always, it seems, been a part of rallying. Did some great things, into great hands out there. Gronholm, of course, integral part of their team, as was, now with Ford. And our final time here, Pascual 2:16.5, not bad at all. Morales just over 2 seconds adrift. Well, I imagine we're going to see quite a few here, because we've still got, oh, I don't know. Oh, we've got a couple of minutes remaining. We may well get one more round amongst the local drivers. And why not? Pascual and Morales loving the crowd and giving them some drama as well. Sparks flying. Got to dial in a lot of suspension up front. I imagine because they come straight here off course, they probably were taking it easier on the jumps because the suspension settings were set for elsewhere and not for such a jump as we've had in the middle for those main contenders further down the line. They weren't sparing the machinery at all, were they? So a couple of Suzuki Swifts for you. I think it's Umo Alava and Peggy Andersson. Peggy, partnered by Jonas in the all-Swedish affair, and Umo Alava of Estonia. Now these guys leading the main challenge for the juniors in positions 15 and 16 overall, and you have to say that is impressive in the rankings. Now the big one here is that these two are separated by just 2.7 seconds. And so the right to finish 15th is up for grabs here. And there is Andersson. Now pick the bones out of these two. I imagine you're not going to know which is which until they cross the line for the first split. So because I'm frantically looking around the cars to see a difference betwixt. It's hard to spot. Oh, I've just spotted it. It's the grille at the bottom, the white grille, as opposed to the darkened out one. So we'll see when they come across the line next time. Well, Andersson got the best of the starts there, and away they go. Only 2.7 seconds separating these juniors. And so we've got a real battle on our hands here. Ava is in 16th place, 2.7 seconds behind Anderson. So Anderson it is, and there's Ava. He has got the white grille, the white lower grille mesh, if you like. That's Ava with his first jump, number 32. Number 45 is Peggy Anderson, who's out of the stadium at the moment, about to re-enter. So Ava needs to beat Anderson by 2.7 seconds, or a little bit more than that, and he will have snatched 15th place in the overall rally ranking, but of course top dog status as far as the juniors are concerned. There he goes, giving it plenty. This means something here. Ava nearest to us. Number 45 is Anderson, and you're going to get the first split. I can't imagine there's going to be that much between them. Here they come. Well, they haven't given it us, unfortunately. They haven't listed the split time, which is a real shame. So it all then will come down to fourth time across the line. There is Anderson. He knows he's just got to keep it cool. And Ava is the man who's got to chase him down. They're not sparing them. Terrific little cars, you have to say, these Suzuki Swifts. They really are a ball of muscle out there, it seems. The S1600 class, all the better for their participation. Ava with the lower white grille looking at him now. He's the man who's on the chase, and you can see he's giving it plenty. That's Anderson. Keeping it smooth, and here it comes. It's going to be so tight, this one. Who's going to get it? Remember, 2.7 is the split time. Ava has to beat him by more than that. It's not going to happen. And in fact, Anderson takes it a second clear and expands the gap to 3.7 seconds at the end of this rally between the two main protagonists in the junior class. Peggy Anderson finishes 15th in the Rally of Portugal. Ava in 16th place. And a tremendous effort by him. The young man, we'll be seeing a lot more of the young Swede. Yet more Scandinavians coming through. Tremendous. Well, you've had your entertainment and the applause ringing out. And, well, Ava knew what he had to do. Anderson just had to keep it cool. This is him now, Anderson. And he's come out top of the juniors here, finished 15th place, embarrassing quite a few of the bigger names in so doing. So the podium awaits. Sebastian Loeb has won the Rally of Portugal, back after a gap of, what, 6 years? And we've missed it. The drivers have missed it as well. Marcus Gronholm constantly pushed Loeb, and in fact, right at the beginning of the rally, he had the advantage and was looking likely to come away with victory. But Loeb is a quick learner, and he's one of these amazing drivers whose second time through any stage, you can almost guarantee that he's going to take it. He's got this kind of computer brain which is to such an advantage. First time through, Gronholm unsighted, but as soon as Loeb gets a stage in his head, almost unbeatable, and so it proved. Marcus had his own problems with tyre selection, and well, he had his moose activated on the first day, of course. A little bit quicker as he managed to pick up lost time, damage shocks for him as well, and all the time Loeb, well, he's the repeat run specialist and a man who preserves his tyres as well. Difficult conditions out there, very, very hard on the tyres, and Loeb it was that preserved them best, used them best, and he's come to victory here. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with the podium and maybe a brief chat with the winners in just a moment. Stay with us, live here on Eurosport 2.
Take control of the rallies with BF Goodrich